You fell in love with Carl Sagan. You said it was during the Voyager compilation.
Yes, it was. It was on June 1st, 1977. I had been looking for some time for that piece of Chinese music that we could put on the Voyager record and not feel like idiots for having done so. And I was very excited because I'd finally found a ethnomusicologist, composer at Columbia University, who told me without a moment's hesitation that this piece, Flowing Streams, which was represented to me as one of the oldest pieces of Chinese music, 2,500 years old, was the piece we should put on the record. So I called Carl, who was traveling. He was in Tucson, Arizona, giving a talk. And we had been alone many times during the making of the record and as friends for 3 years. And neither of us had ever said anything to the other. We were both involved with other people. We'd had these wonderful, soaring conversations, but we had both been completely just professional about everything and as friends. And he wasn't there, left a message. An hour later, the phone rings, pick up the phone, and I hear this wonderful voice. And he said, I get back to my hotel room and I find this message and it says, Annie called. And I say to myself, why didn't you leave me this message 10 years ago? And my heart completely skipped a beat. I can still remember it so perfectly. And I said, for keeps? And he said, you mean get married? And I said, yes. And we had never kissed. We had never, even had any kind of personal discussion before. We both hung up the phone, and I just screamed out loud. I remember it so well, because it was this great eureka moment. It was just like a scientific discovery. And then the phone rang, and I was thinking, oh, shit, and the phone rang, and it was Carl, and he said, I just want to make sure that really happened. We're getting married, right? And I said, yeah, we're getting married. He said, okay, just wanted to make sure. And the spacecraft lifted off on August 20th, and August 22nd, we told everyone involved, and we were together from that moment until his death in 1996 in December.
Wow, talk about romantic, my God.
So romantic, and part of my feeling about Voyager, obviously, and part of what I was feeling in the recording of my brainwaves, my heart, my eyes, everything, in that meditation on the record. I had asked Carl whether or not it would be possible to compress the impulses in one's brain and nervous system into sound and then put that sound on the record and then think that perhaps the extraterrestrials of the future would be able to reconstitute that data into thought. And he looked at me in beautiful May Day in New York City and said, well, 1,000 million years is a long time, why don't you go do it? Because who knows, who knows what's possible in 1,000 million years. And so my brainwaves and REM, every little sound that my body was making was recorded at Bellevue Hospital in New York. This was 2 days after Carl and I declared our love for each other. And so what I often think is that maybe 100 million years from now, somebody flags that record down. And I always wonder, because part of what I was thinking in this meditation was about the wonder of love and of being in love and to know it's on those 2 spacecraft. Even now, whenever I'm down, I'm thinking, and still they move 35,000 miles an hour, leaving our solar system for the great wide open sea of interstellar space.
Billions of years from now, the sun will have reduced this planet to a charred, ashy ball. But that record with androids, brainwaves, and heartbeat on it will still be out there, somewhere, intact, in some remote region of the Milky Way, preserving a murmur of an ancient civilization that once flourished on a distant planet. Tell me about the moment.
So that moment for a human with one dimension of time happens once. Now, version controlling the two of them, if it had happened 10 years earlier, it doesn't matter because and those two versions of them, meet at that time, then that's going to be what happens in that multiverse. And there might be a comet in that multiverse where they had done it 10 years earlier, and then Earth got hit by a comet and they both died, and that's what happened on that timeline. They were in love, and then Earth got charred by a comet because no one was doing their fucking job because it was run by incompetent morons. So it's nice to think about 100 million years from now, that someone would actually care about what happened on something called Earth. But you get lied to, and your planet is run by incompetent morons. And this galaxy might be a shithouse as a driver or result of the weakness of Earth's leaders. And that's how it is in one dimension of time.